is, with rugby becoming a rapidly fast-growing sport in the United States, how optimistic are you about the MLR taking off in the United States?
I think I'm actually very optimistic about the MLR taking off, but I think we can. My opinion is that there are things that we can offer people that other sports potentially can't offer, and also provide the American public, an insight into our culture, which is pretty cool to be part of. So, we're reaching out, like you said, it's a very diverse, demographic that we have playing rugby. Everyone plays rugby, so we're going into schools that are predominantly African American or Polynesian, and that I've been helping out for years, and really then we started to realise, we want to tell the story more, and something that those athletes can engage in, and certainly, we've got African American players and Polynesian players who've been volunteering their time. We started putting them in that school environment, and our message no longer is about rugby. It's more about opportunity, and because we've got to be careful. If all we do is advertise about the Seawolves or Glendale, then we become like other American sports, and it's only for the professional or the elite athlete, and that's not accurate.
Right.
It's for everybody, and we want everyone to buy into that. I mean, if you're 18 years old and there's a good chance that you might not go to university, come play rugby. And the reality is, if you take on that opportunity, then the numbers speak for themselves. I don't know rugby players unemployed, not for any length of time. I don't know rugby players who are looking for housing. I certainly don't know any sleeping on the streets at the moment. We look out for each other, and I think that's a stronger message. And if we can get that message across to people that this is what rugby looks like, it's not about 80 minutes. And I think we'll get more people buying into our sport I know I didn't ask my kids to play rugby over 6 and 7 year old. They want to play it just because they're around it. I certainly didn't push them that route. But, as an outsider, would I want my kids to be looked after, not just on the field? 100%
Right.
I would, and if I'm 18 years old and I don't know what I'm going to do for work, and I don't know what I'm going to, where I'm going to live, and you've just been told you can't play sports anymore because basically you're not going to college. Well, rugby can provide those three things at the very base level, and it doesn't. And the cool thing is, it doesn't matter how good you are. You don't have to be good to do it. As an athlete, it might be something you want to do socially. You're still accepted, and I think for the MLR to grow and rugby to grow, I think they're the strong messages we have to get out. Providing just a good product on the field is certainly, obviously, a part of it. But right now, we're only attracting rugby people, or people who might be connected to rugby people. So how do we reach out to the bigger community that we know will love this when they get here? We have to do things that they're passionate about, and whether that's going into underserved areas and showing them, giving them opportunities to do this stuff, or whether it's going to wheelchair rugby and helping those guys and training against them, which we do sometimes, or whether it's going to youth programs and reaching out to those parents and educating them on, hey, there's this place for them after they're 18, and a lot of those parents don't know that.
Right.
So we're very careful and trying to be very careful. I'm now the community director also for the Seattle Seawolves, and part of that journey, I think, is I'm pretty careful. I want us to be, the message to be, although we've got Seawolves in the room talking to all these kids, there's another place for you too. We don't want to be that sport that only they can play if they're elite. There's so much more opportunity than that, and I think if that's the message we can portray to people and show, and we're not making it up, this is our reality. If we can show that, I think more people will buy into the sport. I think more businesses will sponsor it because it's a good message and it's looking out for people. I think corporate America would get behind it because there's employees there for them as well, and there's businesses. Most of it in the Saracens, there's, like I say, about 70 players and 40 women, and there's a very large percentage of them that are all employed by alum or people affiliated with the rugby team. Does that help the player? Yes. Does it help that company? 100% it does. So there's a lot, and rugby players are confident. They give back to their community. Is that not, and they work hard. They've got a great outlook on life, very positive generally. So is that the type of employee you want? Yeah, it is. So I think it's a two-way street, and it has to be a two-way street. It can't just be give back from the fans or just on the rugby field. If they can realise that this is a two-way street in a family, I think that really is a very strong message, and I think people want to be part of that. We all want to be part of something bigger than ourselves, and sometimes, and it's not that hard. It's just a case of creating something and showing the message and say, hey, come on in.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's the idea from like going from like high school football to college football, and then hey, you don't have anywhere to go from college football because the NFL doesn't want you. So
Yeah, no, I mean, that's exactly right. We're going into some of these schools, some of them got great football programs, and their kids that have worked hard to be in those programs. They're, in areas that maybe are struggling a little bit, we go in there and really that's our message. It's like, look, this kid who's playing football. Imagine if you could turn around to him as a high school football teacher and know that he's probably not going to university and what's going to be next in his life, and be able to say to him, say, hey, look, why don't you take up rugby? Maybe they help you find a job. Maybe they help you find a place to live. Which, if that athlete takes that opportunity, once again, the numbers speak for themselves. If they buy in and do the right things, which just means be a good person, really, to be honest, and we all help you be that person as well, because you're surrounded by lots of people like that have been through that journey. As I said, we've got guys who've been in gangs who are no longer in gangs and things like that, who are now some of our most positive people. And I think you've managed to sit in a room, especially some of those really big athletes, you get to tell them that they can carry the ball as well. You just watch their eyes open. Carry the ball. And also with that, we want to make sure we're touching on something. We're not going down a road here, we're just talking about men, but the women. But women can play this sport, obviously.
right.
And we have a good national team, we have a good club program, and every shape and size is catered for. I think we get into the stereotype of an athlete needs to look like this. It's not accurate. And certainly not in rugby anyway. And even if you're an athlete that doesn't aspire to be a really big, really super healthy, fit athlete, there's still a place for you.
Right.
And it might be that you play socially on a Saturday afternoon, and you have a beer with your friends or a juice with your friends afterwards in the game or whatever that is. But it's still a family, and there is a place for you. No one is turned away. I mean, we've got players that come to us that have realised they probably aren't really cut out to play rugby, to be honest. And rather than turn away, I've tried to feed them into other local programs that they might be fitted to. And I can think of 3 that stayed with us and said, no, can we be your photographer? Can we help out as manager? Because they want to be part of it, because it's such a positive environment. So I think that's the message that I think is going to really set us apart from other sports.
Kevin, you're making me want to play rugby.
Hey, you can play rugby. I just told you.
Yeah.
Come on out.